Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GTX 650, the new GPU in the channel that I bought like 2 days ago in PUBG Season 5. Of course, it's the first time that I'm testing PUBG in the GTX 650, so I don't really know what to expect. I think it's similar performance-wise to the GTX 550 Ti. This GPU over here is the GTX 650 EVGS super clocked version, so it comes already factory overclocked a little bit out of the box. It runs at 1202 megahertz, as you can see here in the graph, and we are running a Ryzen 7 3700X with 16 gigs of RAM, of course overkill specs, but you should be able to get pretty much the same FPS that we're about to see in this one with 8 gigs of RAM and like a second gen i5, even like a third gen i3 should be fine, because PUBG doesn't really require a lot of threads. If you have that single core performance, you should be fine. Moving on, we're gonna be playing here at 1080p, 900p and 720p, very low settings. I'm not even gonna attempt to do medium settings or higher, of course, because, well, let's be frank here, this is an old GPU, and well, let's get into it. We're gonna be playing first person in Erangel. Oh my god, okay, 2 seconds left in the waiting screen here. Alright guys, so as you can see in the plane, it's actually completely playable. As you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and enable our average and 1% lows just while we drop. You know, I'm gonna reset those once we are actually in the ground, because the game tends to stutter a little bit when we are dropping from the plane. But as you can see here in the plane, we're getting around 40 FPS average, 43 actually. 1% low is at 35 now, and let's drop in our beautiful city, the most wonderful city ever created in a video game. It's, of course, guys, my beautiful Pachinki here, boys. Alright guys, by the way, this is the 1GB version of the GTX 650, GDDR5 of course. And yeah, that should be a little bit of a bottleneck there, but so far it hasn't been stuttering too much. It's just our FPS that is very low. As you can see here, we're actually around 30 right now, so it might be playable here, you know. The GTX 550 Ti, which I thought was comparable to this one, was actually getting these frame rates at 720p, like around 30, you know, so this is a good surprise. Sub 30 FPS gamer, guys, over here, okay? Wait a second, let me just put the things again, the average and stuff like that, because we have already dropped from the plane. It's pretty much the same, as you can see, actually. God damn it. This is actually not a bad experience, guys. Well, it kinda is, you know, but if you guys get used to the 30 FPS gameplay, you know, if you're coming, for example, from an Xbox One or a PS4 base PS4, I'm not sure if this game is out in the PS4, but if you're coming from the Xbox One, that actually runs the game sometimes down in the like 18, like 15 to 25 FPS range sometimes, so this is not a bad improvement, you know. You can at least play at 1080p. I think that game runs at 1080p as well in the consoles. I'm not really sure about that, but you know, this is not too bad. As you can see in this area over here with less stuff going on, we're actually seeing a little bit better FPS, and well, okay, this is not so bad. I was expecting it to run worse, of course, after seeing the GTX 550 Ti, for example, but I guess it's only on older games that that GPU is comparable to this one. Maybe like in GTA 5 they are comparable, because, well, GTA 5 is actually very well optimized for older generation of graphics cards, and maybe this might be our thumbnail over here. It's not very pretty, this web. Maybe this one, not sure, guys. Oh my god, very low settings, textures look really bad. Not good for thumbnails, guys. If you want to take screenshots and stuff, at least increase your texture resolutions, but you know, I'm not gonna do that because we do only have 1 GB of VRAM after all, so increasing those textures might result in stuttering issues, and we don't want those, of course. It's time now for 900p. I think we've seen enough here. Like, our average is around 30 FPS, flat 30, as you can see there, and our 1% lows are around the mid 20s. So that's not too bad, okay? Very low settings, 900p. Let's do this. You know, oh boy, the guy saw us, and I'm dead, of course. All right, guys, we're back here. We just died with our Tommy gun. Amazing play by me, you know, last time. Okay, no, not really. 900p as you can see, very low settings, guys. And I'm just gonna do this. Let's see how many FPS we get while dropping. So far so good, but obviously nothing is rendered yet. As you can see, the game just looks so flat. There are no buildings and stuff. Okay, they're rendering in right now, as you can see in the distance, and our FPS are dropping as we drop into the PUBG world and Pachinki, whatever. What am I talking about? There are 3 people there, I think. Not really sure if they're coming to Pachinki or not, but yeah, let's go. Let's do this, friends. We're just gonna go ahead and stop this and start again because we don't want our 1% lows off the plane messing up our things. Alright, as you can see, as we're driving the Jeep through Pachinki, we're actually between like 30 and 40 FPS, 33 now. Okay, so in the mid 30s right now. Will it drop from 30? I'm not very sure about that, guys. I think we should be able to achieve a 30 plus FPS experience all of the time. Of course, our 1% lows are actually at 25, but as we've seen so far, it really didn't drop to 25 FPS. So that's why I don't really like 1% lows, because I don't feel like that's the experience, you know? I didn't feel our FPS dropping to 26 or 27 or whatever. You know what, guys? I have a barrel here, but I don't really like the barrel. At least with these FPS, they're pretty low, so we're not gonna use that, okay? 30 FPS for me is not a very good experience, especially in a game like PUBG, but some of you guys actually think that this is playable, and that's fine. Actually, when PUBG first launched, I was playing on an i7-4770 equivalent. It was a Xeon equivalent of that CPU. It's pretty much the same thing, and the GTX 1060, and I was getting around like 30 to 40 FPS, sometimes even dropping to the mid-20s when looking at big cities. So yeah, you know, the game was playable like that for me. I got used to it. It's just a matter of getting used to it, basically. As you can see, now we're in the 40s in that little spot there, but of course we're now dropping into the 30s again. Okay, so this is not too bad, guys. So far so good. We haven't seen it drop from 30 yet. Of course the 1% lows say otherwise, but I at least didn't feel it drop from 30, but it's a useful information to have here on the screen. So yeah, as you can see here, we're actually seeing 31, 32 FPS looking at the entire city. You know what? This is at 30 now. Flat 30 there. Okay, this is not too bad. Alright, maybe this is the thumbnail actually, because it looks a little bit better than the other weapons that we had earlier. You could play with a 900p monitor with a GTX 650, I think. It's not very bad, playable. If I could, okay, I saw 29 FPS there. Maybe the game dropped to 27 and I didn't really see it. Okay, I'm not paying attention to the FPS like 100% of the time, so I could be wrong there. Sorry, little 1% low. I'm talking bad about you, but you're actually very useful. If I don't die in the next like minute or so, it means that the 1% metric actually forgave me. So let's hope that happens here. Oh boy, that's a red zone. Am I gonna die with the red zone? Oh my god, is it meant to be? I am impressed with the GTX 650 here in PUBG, guys. Not gonna lie. Alright guys, you know what to do now? Just select the lowest resolution that we're going to be testing here today, which is the lowest resolution that the game actually supports. 720p over here. Alright guys, we're back here at 720p, as you can see here. Render scale 100%. Of course, very low settings across the board. Let's do this. Let's start our FPS average and 1% low counter. And let's get out of here. Let's test our FPS from that little spot all the way to the church, looking at the entire city. You know the drill, you know the path. It's the path for success, friends. Yes, this little path is gonna give me like 100,000 subscribers. What the heck? You know what? I never thought we'd reach this many subscribers. We're actually at 40,000 and like 500 right now. That's insane, guys. You know, I'm completely baffled about that. Thank you so much, by the way. 720p actually puts us in the 40s, at least here, looking at there. Maybe looking at the entire city, it will drop from 40, I think. But yeah, as you can see, our 1% lows are actually above 30 FPS, or at at 30 FPS, so that's good to see as well. And you know what, guys, I would probably play at these settings. 720p, very low settings, look okay. You can still run the game just fine. I've actually won a few games running at 720p with very low settings. The R750i comes to mind. I don't remember if I was actually recording the video when I did it, but I remember playing with that and getting like around 60 to 60 plus FPS, I think, at 720p at these settings, and I could win a game. So yeah, if I could win a game and I wasn't really used to it, you guys can definitely win games if you are used to it. So yeah, you can still spot enemies at the distance. Of course, the graphics don't look very good, but yeah, it's still playable. That's what matters. I don't feel like dropping the resolution to 70% of 720p, for example, is playable anymore. Of course, the FPS are higher, but I don't feel like the visual quality and visual fidelity are good enough to not put you at a huge disadvantage compared to another person who's playing, for example, at 1080p, because like this, you are at a disadvantage, don't get me wrong, but it's not so big, you know. You can actually manage it, and we might and should even be able to like win duels versus people that are playing even at 4K resolution. Why not, you know? If you are a better player, if you are a skilled player, you should be able to do so. Imagine if you encounter me in the Battlegrounds and I'm playing with a GTX 1080 at 4K 60 plus FPS. You're probably gonna wreck me if you're playing with a 650 at 720p. Yep, you know, let's be real here. Yeah, that's just that's just how it is, you know. I'm actually gonna try to win this one, guys. You know, that's probably a good idea. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, my God. All right. Everything's fine here, boys. We're gonna do this, okay? We're gonna do this. We're just gonna go ahead, get into the circle, and try to play it like slowly, maybe. Not sure. I might die just instantly, so we'll see. I'm just gonna chill down over here and watch some TVs. This is a TV. Oh my God, look at these graphics, guys. What is worse, guys? Low textures in PUBG or low textures in Red Dead Redemption? I think this one actually beats Red Dead Redemption in the low texture quality. Oh my gosh, this is insanely bad. But of course, if this is what's needed for the game to be playable in lower end hardware, I actually give props to the developers, you know, for thinking of the budget gamers around the world that can't really afford anything better than something like a GTX 650 or a GTX 550 Ti, because there's many people that can't afford a good GPU, obviously. But it's good to know that, for example, a $20 card like a GTX 650 can actually run PUBG just fine at 720p. So, oh my God, okay, let's forget that. We're just gonna go ahead and go there. Maybe by the other side, actually. An airdrop right there. So that means there's probably someone with an AWM and pretty good gear just waiting for the game to end and kill us at the end, because we are gonna get into that drop 3, guys. This is where we're gonna stay, friends. I had a better idea and I decided to come in this room, but now the circle appears to be messing around with me and we're outside of the circle again. So are we inside of the circle here? No, we're not. So you know what, I'm just gonna pick this up. I think he's down there. I think he's downstairs. Oh, what the heck? How did he know? Oh my God. See, it was the airdrop guy. I knew it. How did he know that I was there? This is some really good game sense, guys. Look at this guy playing. That's amazing. Okay, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sadly, we didn't finish in the top 3, despite our big efforts. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. And I will hopefully see you in the next one. I love you all. Bye-bye.